many, many years. In fact, they started providing hosting solutions in the late 90s. And they made transition to Dynamics CRM Online and SharePoint Online Office 365 in recent time. And as they did this transition, they saw almost 50% increase in their customer add rates, which is quite significant and quite exciting. And they also see that their selling cycle got dramatically reduced. In the last year, they sold two Fortune 500 organizations in under 30 days, which is quite phenomenal and quite astounding for those of you who understand traditional selling cycles in organizations of that size. So Power Objects, many others, 0 to 10, Rose, many other partners who work with us in the cloud are here ready to engage and talk to you and help you learn. As we move to the cloud and as we transition into the future, it is really important for us to grasp the idea that Microsoft Dynamics is what brings the power of innovation from Microsoft to our business customers. And our mission here is to help organizations become dynamic in the cloud with the wealth of investment coming from Microsoft. That is what we stand for, and together we can absolutely do that. And we're counting on your success and continuous profitable relationship as we move our investments into the cloud. There are a couple of things that I would like you to do. Number one, if you're not using Dynamics CRM Online today, and if God forbids you run Salesforce.com, it is time for you to switch. If you're Gold certified or Silver certified, you have Dynamics CRM Online for your people. It is available and you don't have to pay for it. So it's a crime for your business if you don't use this service. Michael Park will speak later today, and he will go much deeper in his value keynote on Dynamics and what we do in product roadmaps. If you're interested, I encourage you to attend. Be thinking of Microsoft Dynamics if you work with our business customers. Every single business organization is ready for Microsoft Dynamics. Think about competitive opportunities. We talked about Microsoft being Siebel-free. There is approximately 5,000 organizations out there running Siebel as their CRM or customer care system. It's a dead product, and those people need to move, and you can help them if you work with them, move to Dynamics CRM Online. And finally, lead referral program. Every single one of you here in the room can share in the success of Dynamics as we change the game of business applications and make every business to be the dynamic business. Thank you very much.
So hopefully you'll agree, a fantastic morning of the cloud. We've heard of it across our SQL business, our Azure business. We've heard from it in the Office business. I'm sat here with Steve Hall. He's a partner of ours from Washington, D.C. with District Computers. And Steve, you were a skeptic. Your business was not all in with the cloud a couple of years ago. So tell us what changed your mind. Why are you now all in with the cloud?
Well, more so the reason we were skeptical of the cloud a couple of years ago, we're a very, very small partner. And when the cloud announcements came out and Microsoft says, this is where we're going, partners, come on, let's go there, we saw the excitement. We saw a lot of the larger partners that were able to mobilize faster and absorb these things. And we're sitting here thinking, how can we as a small company possibly, compete in this space? But the reality is, we were able to start seeing wins quickly, cloud-based management, cloud-based backup disaster recovery, cloud-based productivity. And to go even further, the cloud has allowed us now to compete better with larger partners or larger competition. And with the cloud, we're realizing wins now that we weren't realizing years ago. And it's been the single fastest product within Microsoft products that we've been able to take in and push out. And we're seeing wins now that we were not seeing a couple of years ago.
Great. Thanks, Steve. So if you're skeptical yourself about the cloud, hopefully you're not after what you've just heard, then track this man down. He'll be in the corridors here this week and have a conversation with him. So we are going to head back to main stage and hear about the world of wonderful devices.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome President, Windows Phone Division, Andy Lees.
Well, good morning. You know, it's a fantastic opportunity to speak to you this morning about the world of devices. In fact, I guess many of you can just look around and see the way in which people are using technology in completely different ways. I mean, how many people have been to dinner and people are texting rather than talking? You know, you see people going through and they're trying to do everything on their smartphone. They're going through and tweeting all of the time. In fact, I find myself, sometimes I do things the long way just to make sure it can't be captured in 140 characters. And then, of course, even at the partner conference, you go out of the evening, you relax, you finish the day, you go out, you have a few drinks, perhaps, and then somebody brings out their smartphone, start taking pictures. They think it's the beginning of a laugh out loud, and for you, it's a moment of regret. Of course, why is this happening? What is it that's going on? Why is there such a proliferation of different types of devices, different ways in which people are using technology? Well, there's some key trends that are fundamentally changing the world of devices and that are going to have a huge impact in the technology that we provide and the solutions that you build. And it starts right at the core of the devices themselves, the core technology. One of the demonstrations we did at CES, it was perhaps the most boring thing to do in front of a whole set of end users, but it was perhaps the most profound, where we showed the motherboard of the next generations of PCs that are going to run on Windows 8, and the motherboard was smaller than a phone. Smaller than a phone. Because we're at an inflection point in Moore's Law, where you can put all of the key things required to run a computer into a single chip, a system on a chip. And that means that you can have full PC compute power available in whichever form factor that you like. And that's part of the reason why we're seeing all of these different form factors. And in fact, you can combine that power with different sensors to have different types of user experiences and different types of input. Location, camera are all being added to the way in which you can use that core technology. Another advantage of moving everything onto a single chip is that the price comes down dramatically. And in fact, if you look even at the price of smartphones, a year ago, all smartphones cost over $400 when they left the hardware manufacturer. Today, they're down to about $200, and next year, a smartphone that can run something like Windows Phone 7 will actually be down to $100 to $150. So you're seeing a dramatic price reduction. The second thing that we're seeing is this thing whereby the cloud is enabling new types of scenarios. I mean, just take that example I talked about a moment ago. Pictures, which is the #3 usage of a mobile phone, used to be about capturing digital memories. Now, it's the beginning of a laugh out loud. You want to take the picture, you want to tag somebody, you want to share it perhaps on multiple social networks and have people come back and communicate to you. It is the cloud that is defining the scenario. And in fact, the devices are not becoming thin clients. You want to celebrate the capability of the device and have it participate with the cloud and with other types of devices. The third thing we're seeing is consumerization of IT. A lot of the examples that I've given you so far have all been consumer technology and consumer scenarios. But that same technology is business technology. We're seeing consumers bring that technology into work, and we're seeing people want to do the same things that they do in their personal lives, in their business lives. And in fact, this quote here from Gartner shows that any company that tries to resist this will do so at their peril. This is an unstoppable force. It's the fastest set of adoption of technology that has ever happened, and it's starting with the consumer and finding its way into business with this proliferation of different types of devices. One of the key important things here, though, is the change that's yet to happen, but it's about to happen. And that is the bringing together of these devices into a unified ecosystem. Because if the core of the device itself is possible to be common across phones, PCs, and TVs, and even other things because the price drops dramatically, then it will be a single ecosystem. We won't have an ecosystem for PCs and an ecosystem for phones, one for tablets. They'll all come together. And just look at the opportunity here. In 2010, if you count all of these things, there's just under 700 million units sold in that year. And yet, if you look at the predictions from IDC and add them up, that will increase to over 1 billion units that are sold in 2012. And notice how it's additive. It's not that this is about replacing the PC. And that's why our strategy is that these new form factors are within a single ecosystem and not new ecosystems themselves. Windows has always spanned different PC form factors. And with Windows 8, we're going to take this to a whole new level, including tablets. Now, a lot of people have asked me, are we going to produce a phone that is a tablet? You know, are we going to use Windows Phone 7 to produce tablets? Well, that is in conflict with this strategy. We view a tablet as a sort of PC. We want people to be able to do the sorts of things that they expect on a PC on a tablet. Things like networking, to be able to connect to networks and utilize networking tools, to get USB drives and plot them into the tablet, to be able to do things like printing, all of the things using Office, using all of the things that you would expect on a PC, and provide a hybrid about how you can do that with the tablet as well. And so at the Build conference in September, we will talk about how we can provide the best of the PC and the tablet. And our strategy is not just limited to that. We are aiming to provide coherence and consistency across the PC, the phone, and the TV, particularly with Xbox. That's through providing new types of scenarios, things like the way in which we make the user experience more common, as you saw yesterday in the demonstration of the user experience that you have on Windows 8, Windows Phone, and also on Xbox. But also sharing key pieces of technology. You see, if you looked at the update that we're providing to Windows Phone this year, we include a new browser. It's Internet Explorer 9. It's the same technology that we have on the PC. It's not similar, it's the same. And so we can take the advantages that we provide on the PC and immediately leapfrog and provide those across different types of devices. And this is very important to you because it protects the investments that you have made with us together and your customers have made in key elements of the technology. Not only the device, but the infrastructure, the productivity, and the solutions that are used to feed those devices to enable those business and consumer scenarios. So for a phone, the strategy here is not to provide a business phone or a consumer phone, but to have them all be the same thing. There's only one thing. And so there's a few key things that we're delivering with our phone strategy. The first one is that we need to provide what end users desire and what they require. These personal scenarios like music and games and communications, personal communications, social networking, build them into the phone, but also enabling a line of business solutions, business productivity, getting access to information inside of your company. And we may need to make sure that it works with existing infrastructure and we provide the same tools for you to provide solutions to customers. And when we started out on this strategy, our V1 was last November when we shipped Windows Phone 7. And we took a very, very different approach. You see, with smartphones, today they're all about application launchers. And their user is provided with a grid of icons and a sea of applications. And it's up to you to be able to go through to navigate all of that to try and make it all make sense. Well, our proposition is very simple. Well, all we want to do is to make it so that you can do more with a smartphone. Make the smartphone smarter and easier. And this year, we'll have Windows Phone Mango, which is the code name to the next release. In less than a year, we will ship more than 500 new capabilities in a free update that will be available this fall. We've already provided the development tools out for Mango. So what is Mango all about?